Hello everyone, welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, Pat Chat Edition. I'm Violet.
And I'm Pat.
This week we're having a continuation of the topic Keto 101. So we're going to start right in with Patrick giving us some more information about keto.
So remember last week we did like the do's and don'ts, and we covered what was keto.
What foods to eat, what foods not to eat.
So we didn't cover side effects. So basically keto flu, the famous keto flu or infamous keto flu, and how to minimize like the side effects. So what kind of effects can we expect when starting keto actually?
Okay, so most people will have a withdrawal from the carbohydrates. And that looks like withdrawal from any drug. So you get like a headache. Some people get a fever. Some people get like the shakes. It's really a withdrawal, throwing up and nausea and like the whole shebang. Now, there has been some evidence that if you increase the amount of fat that you're eating and increase the amount of salt that you put in your food, you can minimize the ketogenic flu. So the withdrawal symptoms. From what I understand, it works. I did not know about that when I did it, so I lived them to the full extent. And it was not a fun 2 days. Part of actually what ends up happening too is you feel extremely hungry.
But it lasted 2 days. It's not a
For me, it lasted
like
2 days. For the majority of people, it seems to last 2 days.
Okay.
If it's lasting more than 2 days, there's a high probability that you're cycling in and out of being in ketosis, and therefore you're reinitiating your withdrawal every time. So sort of like if you're an alcoholic and you kind of allow yourself to dry out a little bit, go through some of those withdrawal symptoms, and then drink again. You're gonna have to do it again.
So a ketogenic diet can also change the water and mineral balance of your body. So adding extra salt, like you just said, and minerals. For minerals, what like they recommend, try taking 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of sodium, 1,000 milligrams of potassium, and 300 milligrams of magnesium per day. That would help minimize.
How much potassium?
Potassium, a gram, 1,000 milligram.
Wow, why did I think for some reason I had the feeling it was 3,000.
Yeah, more than that, like Dr. Berg.
Yeah, but I think that's a little bit low in terms of potassium.
Okay.
Sodium and the magnesium sound okay to me, but that potassium number seems low.
Okay. Sodium is easy to add. Prefer like the pink Himalayan salt.
Actually, if you have a salt mine in your particular city or country, and you can get salt directly from the mine, so that means it's a mine not coming from the sea. Apparently, that salt is older than the damage we've done to the sea. So if you can get your salt from a salt mine, apparently that's better. This is new information that I was just learning. I watched a video from Dr. Barry, I believe it was. Right now, I'm currently still using pink Himalayan salt, but I think the Himalayas, the location makes that salt a bit better, but my next batch, I'm going to try to get some salt. We do have a salt mine here in Montreal.
Okay. Sources of potassium? What do you recommend?
Avocados.
Avocados are a good source.
Yeah, that's a great source.
Cream of tartar?
Cream of tartar. I'm just trying to remember the name of that. I can never remember the name of that stuff. It's hilarious. Cream of tartar is another good source of potassium.
Okay.
Magnesium, you can get that from Epsom salts. So just taking a soak in Epsom salts will give it to you. But you can also take, I want to say milk of magnesia, because magnesium. And I'm sure there are other sources of magnesium. And from food, of course, vegetables.
Vegetables are a great source.
All of them you can get from vegetables, by the way. But getting enough potassium from vegetables is a little tricky.
And I like that conclusion of that section. At least in the beginning, it's important to eat until you're full to avoid restricting calories too much. There's no need on a keto lifestyle to restrict calories. Usually, a ketogenic diet causes weight loss without intentional calorie restriction. So it's not a calorie restricted lifestyle. You're not going to feel hungry. You need to eat until satiated.
And I'm interesting. He said without an intentional calorie restriction, and just pointing out that you're not actually having an intentional or unintentional because you're still using the same amount of energy. You're pulling it from your body. So it's like an interesting. You're not eating the energy, but you're still using the energy. So you're not restricting energy at that point. Just pointing that out. So, but yes, you're eating fewer calories sometimes. Sometimes I don't eat fewer calories.
Okay, so It's not going to be a fun 2 first days, but it's possible
No,
to
the
get
first
to
2 days
it.
are going to be fine. It's the
So
third and
the
fourth day
third and
that's going
fourth,
to
okay.
kick you in the
So
face.
there's going to be a couple harder days there, but like the next section you're going to like, but we're going to like because they're talking about supplements.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty clear that on the keto lifestyle you don't need any supplements, but like
Not if you're eating well-rounded, but okay.
yeah, the section is really short. Although no supplements are required, like I just said, some can be useful. So let's cover those. So MCT oil.
Well, I've never actually used MCT oil. And for the very basic reason that MCT oil is the medium chain triglycerides from coconut oil. So, but if you take coconut oil, you get not only the medium chain triglycerides, but then you get the other benefits. So the other health benefits of coconut oil, which for the life of me I can't remember the name of some of the stuff in it right now. But there's other elements in coconut oil that's healthy. So, you know, to me, the cost, first of all, of MCT oil, which is quite high, to get only part of what you get from coconut oil, the logic wasn't there for me. So I've never personally used it. If you use it, it's not a big deal.
So,
The other thing I want to make sure that people understand is that it's not because you take MCT oil and then when you measure your ketones, you see ketones, that means that you're in ketosis. Like if someone is eating a standard American diet and you feed them MCT oil, they will show ketones, right? Because it's because you ate them that they're showing.
Okay.
So it's just something to keep in mind. Because I feel like sometimes people get the impression that, oh, if I take MCT oil, I'm going to get into ketosis faster. That's not actually the case.
okay.
You will have ketones to use, but you're not going to get into ketosis any faster.
Okay. So basically what they say, added to drinks or yogurt, MCT oil provides energy and helps increase ketone levels. But like you just said, it's not because you show ketones that you're in ketosis. But basically MCT oil is just like processed coconut oil.
Yeah.
So why not go with the coconut oils then?
But you're always telling you to use whole foods, right? So it's like you can cold press a coconut and get coconut oil, right? So it's just okay.
Minerals, added salt, other minerals can be important when starting out due to shift in water and mineral balance. There's other situation we might have minerals like side effects not side effects, but like for example cramps. Does that show like an imbalance in?
Of course, yeah,
so.
For sure. I think it's interesting what they're saying at the beginning. I think that you should be salting your food to taste, and even spicing your food to taste. I mean, honestly, like, although I'm asking you to prioritize your health over the way food tastes, if whatever you happen to be eating tastes good to you, it's much more likely that you will eat it. So spice your food to taste the way that you want it to taste. I also think that if you're adding salt, if you're adding, what else could you be adding? Whatever you're adding to, like potassium and like those things, we actually need to have in good numbers, ratios. Like for example, potassium and sodium, they need to be in good ratios because almost every cell in our body has that sodium potassium pump. You want it to be functioning well, and also sodium potassium help maintain water balances inside outside of the cell. So it is an important thing to keep balance. I don't know if they mentioned the like taking supplements, but I mean, I'm not opposed to taking supplements if you know that your minerals are out of whack. So let's say if you're having a hard time eating all the vegetables that you need to eat, I'm not opposed to taking them. I do take them sometimes, although I try my best to eat properly. But again, sometimes you take a supplement.
It's funny they put that in the supplements for for the keto diet. They're talking about caffeine. So just drink your coffee.
Is caffeine a supplement?
I don't know. Like
I think it is because it
can have benefits for energy, fat loss, and performance.
Yeah, it is actually boosting your energy. So like but it's a stimulant. So that's the thing. Is like it's not a food, I guess. It's a supplement, I guess. I agree. I mean,
and we're talking about coffee, obviously, not those sugary drinks that you're gonna.
No, yes, we're talking about coffee. We're not talking. You're not talking about energy drinks.
Right, energy, and be careful with energy drinks.
And you know, I do know there's a lot of people who do keto who use energy drinks, and I'm not gonna one way or the other. I mean, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. For me, it's really always about, is it processed? Because if
Mm.
it's processed, right? Like if you take your beans, grind them in your grinder, put some hot water, like that's you doing that. You know
Mm-hmm.
exactly what's in it, right?
Yeah.
You're going to add whatever cream or fat or whatever you want to add to it. There's a difference between doing that and like going to Starbucks and then ordering a double kappa,
Frappu-
like,
Kappa Frappa
I mean,
Frappuccino.
and again,
Yeah.
people do it. You're going to do what you're going to do. For me, I'd rather make my coffee at home and know
Mhm.
exactly what I put
Yeah.
in it and know that there wasn't a pump of sugar in there that I didn't know was going to
Yeah.
be in there.
What about exogenous ketones?
Well, it's
Why
kind of
would
going
you?
back to the same thing
The
as
same as
MTT oil. I
MCT
mean,
oil?
if you
Mm.
take exogenous ketones, you're going to have some energy. But I still want people to be conscious of the fact that it's not necessary. If you
Mm.
take the number of carbohydrates that you're eating down to 20 or less, your body should be producing ketones
Ketones,
and
yeah.
you will be fine. I think people do this because they're scared. They're scared to not have energy. They're scared to not be in ketosis. But again, taking exogenous ketones will not put you in ketosis. All it's going to do is have you have exogenous
Mm.
ketones floating around your system. Your body's going to use them. But the other thing I want to be careful about, whether I'm taking MCT oil, exogenous ketones, coconut oil, butter, like everything you put into your food and you eat it, that's fat that your body isn't pulling from you. So if you're in the weight
Mm.
loss stage, you probably shouldn't be doing any of these things,
Yeah.
right? If you're well into the process and you're trying to maintain,
Mm.
yes, like what I do add fat to my coffee because I'm trying to maintain. If I didn't do it, I'd keep losing. I don't want to lose anymore,
Mm.
right? But you have to be conscious about what you're doing.
Okay. The next one I'm kind of surprised. Like I'm gonna go with the supplement creatine.
Creatine.
Creatine. Why
So
would someone do that?
that's for muscle building.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this is for people that are working out, and yeah, it's a muscle
Okay.
building.
Awesome.
It's a what do you call it? Amino acid.
Okay. Creatine provides numerous benefits for health and performance. This can help you. This can
I
help
think
if
it's
you're
amino acid.
combining a ketogenic diet with exercise.
With
But
exercise.
like,
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
exactly. It's for
yeah, yeah. I
exercise.
was just like curious to know your take
But I
about
mean,
creatine.
again, this is a supplement.
Yeah. And what about whey? Like whey protein?
Again,
Same thing. Huh? It's basically
yeah,
protein
it's protein.
based.
Yeah, basically these are for people. This is for people who are trying to gain weight, like gain muscle.
Lean
I
muscle.
think the thing that I'll point out there, though, for both of those is that it's taking the assumption that your body needs that, or that you think you want your body to have that. Will I be able to gain muscle without that? So if I just work out in the gym doing ketogenic, absolutely.
No,
It's not
yeah.
necessary, but people like to have an advantage.
Hmm.
It's still protein, so I guess
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Let's go with a fact.
Frequently asked questions. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna ask the questions. You go ahead with
You,
the answers because
you
I do find the question are interesting, really
okay.
interesting. Okay, so can I ever eat carbs again?
You're still eating carbs. You haven't stopped eating carbs if you're doing keto. If you're doing carnivore, then you've stopped eating carbs, and then that's a decision that you're going to take if you decide to ever eat carbs again or not.
Hmm.
But you're eating keto, you're still eating carbs. I think the question they're asking is, can I ever eat processed carbs again?
Yeah.
And guess what? The answer is yes. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you not to eat something. Would I suggest that you ever eat processed carbs again? No. Do I plan to eat processed carbs again? No. But I can't tell you what to do, right? Is it healthy to eat processed carbs? No.
But you're not gonna die.
But are you going to die from eating
No.
one processed carb? No. Are you going to put yourself back in the situation that were in if you resume eating processed carbs like normally? Yes, you'll go right back to that weight and beyond, because that's what
Yeah.
happens when we yo-yo diet. We gain the weight back plus.
Will I lose muscle?
No. So you're only going to lose muscle if you stop living and working out. So like if you were the person who was working out before, then you're not going to lose muscle if you just keep working out. If you're the person who was not working out before and you just keep living your same life, you're not going to lose any muscle. The idea that you're going to lose muscle is a fallacy. As a matter of fact, if you do keto efficiently, you're very likely to get into a phase where you're eating 2, maybe once a day. And if you end up in that situation where either you're doing a time restricted eating window of some sort, then that means you're going to have more time where you're not eating, which means you have more human growth hormone. So any exercise you do during that period of time that you're not eating, you're going to actually grow more muscle.
Okay. So can I build muscle on a ketogenic
I
diet?
think I just answered that question.
Yeah. Do I need to refeed or carb load if
No.
I'm
Your body makes carbohydrates. This idea that we need to refeed carb load, blah, is like, it drives me nuts. Your body makes carbohydrates.
yeah.
You don't have to give your body something that it's already making.
Okay. How much protein can I eat?
Whatever amount of protein you were eating before you started the ketogenic lifestyle, if it was a healthy amount, you continue to eat. The typical number for every lean pound of body mass you have on your body, you should be eating between 0.8 and 1 gram of protein.
Okay.
So you need to do the math and figure that out. But chances are, like for myself, I was eating about 7-ounce piece of meat beforehand, and I still eat about a 7-ounce piece of meat now.
What if I'm constantly tired, weak, or fatigued?
You're not doing keto.
Yeah.
If you're constantly tired and fatigued and you're actually doing keto, it's because you're not eating enough fat.
Yeah.
You're eating low carb,
Low fat.
Yeah.
You're
And you would have been
lacking
tired, but that's not keto. Just I'm pointing it out. That's not keto.
Yeah. You're lacking energy.
You're
basically.
lacking energy because you're not
lacking
eating any
You
energy.
need your energy source. My urine smells fruity. What is this?
My urine smells fruity.
Not mine. It's in the article.
First of all, why would that not make you happy? I mean, most of the time urine doesn't smell great. I would think that would make me happy, but I've never heard of that before.
No.
My guess, again, I'm just thinking like that means that you're outputting something sweet out of your body, which how can you be outputting something sweet?
But like it's not a side, because what they say, don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed, people.
Okay, what's their answer? Yeah, I'm actually
This
curious.
is simply due to the excretion of byproduct created during ketosis. So, I don't know.
So
mine never smells fruity.
I'm breaking down. Hold on, I'm breaking down the fat in my body. Well, it depends on what's being stored in my body. Here's a funny thing. This is the thing that people don't understand. When your body stores fat, it's to keep the things from you that would be harming you. So, is it possible that it's the fructose that is coming out, right, out of the fat? So it smells fruity. So the fructose probably. So, but I mean, it's interesting. I'm also just thinking what else you might have eaten that would smell fruity, but I mean, the fructose would be the one thing that could come to my mind.
Okay.
And or any other toxins that might possibly smell fruity.
I have no idea.
Because you have to keep in mind,
Like,
what's hiding in your fat are the toxins as well. Everything that needs to be, right, in jail is in your fat cells.
Okay. Okay. I was laughing a little bit because the next one is funny too. It's so obvious to me. Like, my breath smells. What can I do?
Brush your teeth.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've had another person ask that question, like online. They talked to me and they were saying that their breath was smelling, and they weren't sure. And then when we kind of went through my first thing was keto shouldn't make your breath smell any different because you're just eating food. You're eating real food. So my first thing was make sure you're drinking enough water because if your mouth is too dry, your breath is going to smell poorly. My next thing was double check that you don't have some kind of that candida situation happening because men don't think they can get that, but they actually can. And it makes your breath smell bad, as women will know. And then the third thing I said to him was make sure that you don't have some kind of internal mouth something happening. There might be a cyst. There might be like just a beginning of something, and you're starting to have the smell coming through. And I can't remember what his answer was, but he did go to the doctor, and he wrote me back and said, "You're right, it wasn't the keto." But I can't remember what the actual answer was, but it wasn't the keto.
Okay. Anyway, there's always the sugar-free gum that you can use if you feel like. But this is like unrelated to keto. Like,
but my problem isn't that. My problem is that if you have poor breath, something's happening because your breath is not supposed to smell bad. So you really should figure out what it is. If you might have some kind of cut or something in your mouth, but if you leave it too long, it can abscess and right. Or you might have some kind of gut flora, something that's coming back up in your right. Like you really, I mean, and obviously. Yeah. You know, I don't think it was a garlic issue or something like it. It seemed to be something a bit more stable than that. But like I said, he did figure it out. But I would encourage everyone, if your breath is not smelling correct, it could be candida. And like that can really be uncomfortable for women. But if it's a man that is happening with, you oftentimes the only symptom you have is that you have bad breath. right? And that's what's tricky. It's the only symptom that you're going to have, but it's in your internals wreaking havoc.
Okay.
So that's why I said, go to the doctor, make sure.
Okay. Okay. I heard ketosis was extremely dangerous. Is this true?
No, ketoacidosis is extremely dangerous, and most people don't have that situation because A, you have to be a type 1 diabetic to even be able to get to the situation where you're going to have ketoacidosis. But ketosis is a natural state that, guess what? You get into every night when you're sleeping on some level. That's why you don't starve at night.
I didn't even read the answer, and you were like like nailed on ketoacidosis. I didn't even know they were going to go there. And I have digestion issues and diarrhea. What can I do?
You have digestion issues and diarrhea.
Yeah.
That probably
When
says to me
keto.
that you're eating new vegetables that you haven't eaten before because you probably were doing standard American diet where most people don't eat a lot of vegetables. And so your gut flora needs time to get used to it. Also, when we eat more fat, we do go to the bathroom more, but again, your body just needs to get used to it. I don't know if that was the answer they gave, but
yeah, they like the common side effects usually passes after 3-4 weeks, but like we think it's more 3-4 days. But if they if it persists, try eating more high fiber veggies, magnesium supplements, and magnesium supplements can also help with constipation. So
actually, magnesium is really important for muscle function. It's part of the reason that it helps for constipation because your muscle in your intestine is smooth muscle, and if you're not getting enough magnesium, yeah, you're you know, that peristalsis thing that it does to push stuff through you is not going to happen.
Oh, okay.
So if you might be low in magnesium and experiencing constipation, which is not specifically about keto, but
okay. Conclusion: like a keto diet is great, but not for everyone. Like,
why is it not for everyone?
No, yeah, that's my question. I didn't even read the answer. Like, I want to know what you think. Is it like is there some? But we covered like in the past gains, so, maybe kids.
Honestly, I feel like that's the safe answer to give at the end of anything.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not for everyone. It's like saying, you know, like exercise is good, but it's not for everyone. Well, actually, yeah, it is for everyone. Whether you do it or not, that's a personal choice. And I do feel like keto is good and it's good for everyone, but whether you're going to choose to do it or not is a personal choice. And I think that, at least from my experience, the majority of people who end up deciding to do keto decide to do keto because of something else. So, you know, for me, it was a hip issue. For you, it was high blood pressure. Yeah. For other people, it's weight. For other people, it's mental clarity. For other people, it's the Alzheimer's that they see coming forward because every other person in the family had it. I think that it doesn't mean that it's not healthy for everyone, right? Eating whole foods and keeping your sugar low is healthy for everyone, right? Whether you want to call that keto, you want to call that low carb, you want like, I don't care what you call it. If you eat whole foods and keep your carbohydrates low, it's healthy for everyone.
Yeah.
So
even for athletes.
Even
for, because like that's the thing, like it may be less suitable for elite athletes or those wishing to add large amount of muscle or weight.
That's not even true. We just finished saying that if when you're in your non-feeding period, you have more human growth hormone. So even for athletes, you know what, I'll even say something. Elite athletes have to endure exercise for long periods of time. My ability to go days without eating, you would think would be a positive there. Right? Like, and that can only happen when you're not constantly eating carbohydrates, right? Like, what time is it right now? It's 3:20. We gotta get out of here. But it's 3:20, and I haven't eaten anything yet today, right? I've had a glass of water. I feel like we're so programmed to think that we constantly have to be feeding ourselves, when in reality, it's not true. Right? So do I think it's also good for elite athletes? Absolutely. Do I think that they would get positive gains out of it? Absolutely. Are they going to do it? Well, maybe not if they read this article.
Yeah.
This is a great second part to Keto 101.
To keto, yeah.
I hope that this helps you guys to understand how to do keto appropriately. I hope it helps you to understand when to use supplements, when, you know, like there's a lot of things. If you have more questions about your specific situation, please put them in the comments below. We would love to answer your questions. I love making these videos. We love making these videos. I'm so used to saying that. We love making these videos for you guys. And I look forward to talking to my wellness warriors, because I know you guys are here today. but I also look forward to talking to you new people. So please subscribe so that you can become a wellness warrior and join us every week. For everybody who likes these videos and wants to contribute to production of videos, in the description below, you're going to find a list of Amazon links. If you could take that Amazon link, put it on your desktop, label it Amazon, and every time you're going to make a purchase for your normal, usual purchases, a part of that, so a commission, would go towards the production of videos. An easy way to support the channel. And, you know, if you want to just go to Patreon/Violet Rivera and make a contribution there, I would also appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Love that you guys are here. And I really can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Next week. See you next week.